Mind podcast where we get to drink coffee and beer, and you get to sit back and listen to us ramble about what's on our minds. I'm Justin.
Hello, everyone. I am Hotel Jesse today.
Hotel Jesse is with
Yeah.
us today.
How's everyone doing out there? Justin Cape. You know what I'm saying, dude? We're out here in Arizona today, man. So I'm sitting in a hotel room. No green screen or nothing, right?
Right.
Got some coffee going.
What kind of coffee you got going?
Stuff. Man, I got hotel special, whatever it is.
Are those the ones
What
that
is
the
it,
little cups that you put in there, the little trays? Little
Yeah, I
coffee
guess
trays?
so.
I don't know.
It's not that good, but we'll get there. So, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us again. We got a little bit different of a setup. Well, you can see if you want to watch this on YouTube. Join right in.
It's a good plug.
Brew Your Mind Pod. You'll find it, of course, on YouTube. And you can see behind me, I have this nice, beautiful hotel room.
Ooh.
No green screen today. You know what I'm saying? So, what you got going on over there?
Yeah, dude.
Dear Justin.
I'm posted up my couch in my office, man cave, spare bedroom.
Oh,
My dude's room. Yes, so I'm gonna talk
Yeah.
about my drink real quick. I'm quite excited about this. It's called Funky Buddha. Look at that. The camera's not focusing on it, but that's okay. Don't need it to. It's Floridian wheat beer, Hefeweizen. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of ingredients that I'm for. But it's local beer brewed here in the great state of Florida. I'm gonna have a sip.
let me know. Oh my God!
Are you yawning? Are you yawning
my energy-
during the sip?
My energy was, it's coming back up. I've just been lounging around a little bit. Went on a jog earlier. So I've been sitting in here watching Avatar the Airbender. You know what I'm saying?
I saw that you've been getting into that a little bit. So, side note,
What
beer's
a good show.
fantastic. I love it. It's delicious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Airbender, Avatar. Yeah, I've been doing the same. I've been laying around too. I've been watching some basketball. I think I fell asleep during a basketball game. I've just been like kind of meh. Back on this day schedule, you know what I'm saying? Just
It's good.
chilling.
It's one of those days, one of those good days. You got to be chilling.
That's right.
Chilling with the boys.
That's right. So
Out here.
you're out in Arizona, right? Just living the good life. I want you to tell me how it's been because you've been there for like how long? Like a week?
A week, yeah.
I don't know. I'm talking like that. I apologize.
I liked it, honestly. Yeah, so I'm down here I'm at Fort Huachuca, which is southern Arizona, basically on the border of Mexico. Interesting, right? And I'm down here for some training for my job, doing whatever. It's a lot of classwork stuff so far.
Okay.
It's been pretty easy, though. Not too bad. Got a good group of dudes here. Classmates are cool. It's always fun to meet new people.
Nice.
It's super cool to see Arizona, the way it looks. And I'm going to turn my microphone sensitivity up some because I'm talking too quiet. But it's beautiful down here. I was expecting when I flew into Tucson, because Tucson's pretty deserty and dry. It doesn't get a lot of rain, from my understanding. And then this place is about an hour, I think, hour-ish south. So it's really mountainous. So the elevation's pretty high here. I think it's around 4,000 or 5,000 feet. And then there's mountains around us. And so there's a lot of rain. It's like rained every day in the evening, like thunderstorms,
Interesting.
So it's been really nice. It gets really hot in the day, like up to 95 or 100. Pretty dry. And then evening time, it just cools off. So I don't know, man. It's pretty beautiful to be here. I think we might go on a hike right after this.
That's the best.
I'm kind of scared
Don't be.
because I'm a little bit tired. And I kind of just want to chill in the hotel room and play some Zelda. You know what I'm saying? I brought that Switch.
Have you been killing Zelda?
Man, I'm trying. Trying to. I beat it already, but now I'm replaying it, because I haven't played it in 2 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's been going on with you, my dear Justin?
I've just been missing your
Tell me
presence
the
in my
truth.
life. That's the truth.
You been playing that Fall Guys or whatever?
Yeah, I've been playing. We played with old Ken. Shout out to Ken and Sean last night. 3 of us got into Fall Guys, and it's such a fun game. You have a couple drinks, and you just it's Wipeout basically, you know, and you're just trying to
Yeah.
get through some obstacles. It's a good time, you know.
Is it just that one game mode I've seen where you're just hopping and the platforms disappear and then you fall lower?
No, there's like
There's different other
there's like
types.
12 mini game mode obstacles.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're supposed to keep adding more. So it's just a game that, you know, finally I've been kind of waiting for, just to like chill, you know, just like, don't get me wrong, I say that, and there's probably not another game that makes me rage like Fall Guys. So there's those moments, you know, where you're just like, you just get pissed off at other jelly beans that push you down. Okay, those that don't know what I'm talking about, I sound like
That's
a
true.
complete nerd right now. But hey, go check it out, Fall Guys. It's supposed to be one of the most popular streamed games on Twitch right now. So everyone's loving it.
It looks really fun to watch because it's very simple.
Yeah,
so,
it's so simple,
you
you
know.
know, and you just, I don't know, I just find it super chill. So, I mean,
so cute.
you're so cute. So outside of that, I mean, I don't know, I switched from nights to days a couple days ago, and now it's like, now I'm really experiencing Florida, you know, because I'm in this day life, you know, going to the beach, I don't have to worry about it, not just like breaking up, you know.
Man.
But, I'm getting back into golf for all my golf listeners out there. I got some newish irons. Went out to the driving range. They were good, but I wasn't. Okay, so I'm trying to get there. If anyone wants to go golfing, let's go golfing. No, I got to mention this, and I told you about it. I had a little work gathering via Zoom, and they did the hail and farewells.
To who? Was it Huber that left?
No, it was just hail and farewell to everyone. You know, all the newbies and all the people. That
Oh yeah. Oh, so he. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I know
you
where
know
this is going.
they did the hail for me, and then they mentioned that mentioned the podcast, the Squadron. So any new listeners out there plugging in, how you doing?
What?
It's
To your whole squadron?
yeah, you know, like just a quick plug. Didn't really mention the podcast name, so hey, if you found it, if you did your research and you're here listening just off that little plug, I applaud you and we welcome you. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Where Jesse and I get together and we talk, we ramble, and we drink. We drink heavily. No, we don't.
I was hoping you'd do the whole intro again. Just like verbatim, like the
word
same
for
thing.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here we are, man. You're in Arizona. Hey, guys, this is amazing stuff. The listeners here. Jesse's actually joining us this week. I was worried that he wasn't going to be able to. You know, like we're going to run into some kind of internet issues. He brought his stuff anyway so we could try, but it's actually happening. You cannot break us up. So are you going to have time to edit this stuff anytime, or how's your weekend looking?
Yeah. Off on the weekend, so got a lot of the free time in the evenings as well.
Nice.
So there's been a lot of Zelda.
So could you say that you've had more free time there than you have had up in Alaska?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy because normally
it's-
like TDYs and stuff like that, you stay pretty busy, you know.
Yeah, no, this one hasn't been too bad. We get done 2 or 3 in the evening, and you have the whole evening to kind of do what you want. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. It's really cool. I'm a little bit bored because I don't have a rental car, and you know, I'm just in the hotel. It's really hot outside, so I don't want to overdo it and stay out too much. So far, man, it's been really cool.
Okay.
I'm ready to go back home, and then as soon as I go back, I'm going to be doing some PCS planning,
Yes.
moving to
Some out processing?
Savannah, Georgia. Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's so awesome.
I'll be asking you questions because you just did it. Be like making sure
Yeah, dog.
I'm doing everything right. You know,
That's how we did it when we left Scott together, I think, too. Or a couple months in
yeah,
between.
it was pretty close. Yeah,
Yeah. I think it's always going to be like this for the rest of our lives.
I got a guy here that's actually at Scott right now. He's a first lieutenant.
Really?
So Eric Berger, dear friend, if you're listening, shoot me a text. There's a guy here that knows you. So cool.
Who doesn't know
That's
Eric
it.
Berger? Let me just say that.
He's famous.
That dude.
If you've been to St. Louis, you know EB.
EB. Shout out to EB. Shoot the J. EB.
Yeah, dude.
So what do we got on the docket today, Jesse? I threw a lot of stuff at you.
Yeah,
And
I
I-
like these topics that you threw out.
And I put, you know, I just hey, let's see what Jesse thinks. So, what do you want to attack today? Let's peel something back like an onion. You know what I'm saying? It's got the layers. Shrek reference.
I'm down, dude. Let's whatever you're feeling because you posted. So Justin here, we often take notes and talk about what we're planning on talking about, so we don't just get on here and just sound like two dudes just catching up, which which is fine if people want to do that. But he posed a few questions, and I'm just going to let you pick, dude, because you actually text. Where did you get these ideas? Anyway, we'll talk about any of those topics that you have proposed. So
I'm thinking this top one. This top one could be good. And we'll dive into it, and then of course when we talk about this, for those listening, reach out to us if you want to talk about it too. This is an open conversation. If we say anything that you don't agree with, let us know so we could talk about it some more. And we're here to learn too. We're not professionals, so let's have a conversation. Let's sit down, drink a beer, drink some coffee, and talk. All right, leading into that, Jesse. People say life is short. Why do you do, those people in this life, why do you do so many things that you don't like and like so many things you don't do as a normal human being?
Probably expectations and obligations and responsibilities is probably the simple overall
The clear-cut answer.
Like, of course, I don't want to be in the Air Force and do all this and that. I'd rather just stay home and play music and podcast every day for a living. That's the dream, right?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But that's not real life, And I feel like it's okay. It's okay to be doing things you don't like. You have to accept it and keep that in mind that you're not failing or you're not in the right place in life if you're doing things you don't like. You're just being responsible. You have a job. You don't love your job. It's not a dream, Chase your dream, sure, but I think we've kind of talked about this before. It's like usually the people that are saying to chase your dreams, like, it worked for me. Well, yeah, it worked for you. How many other thousands of people tried the same path? You know what I mean? And it didn't exactly work. I'm not saying don't chase your dreams, but also I don't feel so discouraged when I'm, evaluating my life and I'm saying, this isn't what I want to do. I dream of doing this and that because it's just reality. It's just if you want to sustain your life and if you want to have a car, all these things, we make our own, we box ourselves in with a certain way of living, like Americans, or anyone. You want to have a car, well, you're going to have to pay for the car. You're going to have a job that you don't like, If you want to do, if I wanted to pursue a life of, just being photography and podcasts and whatever, music, living off that, I'd have to be pretty sure I could live off pretty little money and also not like stable income. So I don't know. It's interesting. But I will say, I did read a book that I think we've kind of talked about it before. I think what was that book I read?
The Bullets
30
one?
Rules? No. Shit, I forgot the name of that book. But anyway, there was a section. It's a. I'll look it up in a second. It's a book that was just talking about the author ended up surveying a bunch of elderly people that are retired or went through life and basically just rules for life or something. For 30 Rules for Living, I think is the book. Okay. I might have that wrong, but there's a big section of it that talks about basically what this question is, and over and over and over again, the people that were giving their advice on life, the retired and elderly people, they were always saying, don't always go for the more money and try and do something that you enjoy being at work, even if it's taking less pay. They always said that. They said if you have two different roads, left or right, and this one is way more pay, but it looks like a lot of stress and, there's some, you got to give and take. But every time, there was never one person that was like, yes, take the job with more money, because in your head you think, oh, more money, that is going to equal less stress, and more money equals more opportunity to, do whatever you want. You have to worry about all these things, and you'll have money, so it frees you up. But time and time again, these people were saying to more or less kind of chase doing the thing that you would like to do, because life is short.
Yeah.
So it's a weird balance, I guess, like evaluating what is a responsible move to do, pursuing what you would want to do, like one of your passions, because it won't always work out. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's the, like, do you agree or disagree that money brings happiness?
I think it brings, it relieves stress.
Okay.
To a certain degree. There's a threshold,
Yeah.
I think, where I knew for me, when I had a job and income coming in, and I noticed when I felt like I got to a really good point when I felt like I could just walk in the grocery store and not look at any prices. I would just get what I wanted to and not worry about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a ton of money.
Yeah.
But that's an example of like, okay, that has alleviated this stressful thing that people go through,
Do you think there's times where money creates stress?
Absolutely. And it's just like I said, it's kind of a self-induced thing. I mean, there's different avenues, I guess, but
Yeah.
the more money you have, the more assets you have, and the more things you're juggling.
That's true.
So there's a lot more vulnerabilities, I guess, for things to go
that's good.
wrong.
Yeah.
And then there's also, of course, you always hear those stories time and time again when people are broke and then they're rich. All of a sudden, all the family members are coming out the woodwork, and all these friends are like, they want to be close to you, and you just got to worry like, well, that's got to be stressful. You don't even know who you can be friends with. You know what I mean? Like you're worrying that are these people even genuine? What are they here for? They're just trying to get close. So that's why I think everyone's can be ambitious in their own way and have aspirations, but I actually don't ever feel like I want to be that rich because I know how things go. You have family, you have kids. And then you start acquiring your lifestyle goes way, expenses go way up. So that just sounds like clutter in my head. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I want to have like 3 fancy cars. Well, that's 3 cars I got to keep track of. Like, all the details that go into maintaining a car. Registration tags and all that. It just sounds insane.
No, I get that, and I feel like I am living a completely comfortable lifestyle where I'm at now. But saying that, I also don't know any other lifestyle. Of course, I know like the lesser lifestyle, like when I went through college or when I was, hardly working a full-time job or something like that. I know that kind of lifestyle, but anything above the lifestyle that I'm living right now, I am so unaware of it. And I think that's something we continue to learn to, especially with us with each like promotion, each raise every 2 years or whatever, that, we can actually kind of adjust our lifestyle a little bit. But it really just depends on the kind of person you are and how you want to invest in the money that you're now receiving that you didn't receive before. So, and then to tie it back to what you were saying earlier about like choosing the job with most money or most satisfaction. I mean, personally, me speaking, that's why my mind is set on hey, teaching, coaching by the time I get out of the Air Force, because I know that job is on the lower pay scale in the United States for teaching in general, coaching in general.
Sure.
But the satisfaction will be there. So
Yeah.
I'm doing this job in the Air Force. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's fine. Did I ever say when I was in high school that I wanted to be a meteorologist in the Air Force? No, that never crossed my mind. But it's good enough to enjoy. But I think when I'm done with this commitment, I deserve and I should be doing what satisfies me, and what actually I want to do, and the choice I do. And that probably goes for everyone that like retires from the military, retires. You got to go through the grind until you can actually get to what you want.
I mean, that's what I think is important to keep in mind is like where people are saying life is short. Why are you doing this career that you're not super mega into? Like, is it stressing you out or is it not making you happy? But I think is like if you can view it as a bridge, maybe, like in your case, you're talking like you want to do the Air Force as a bridge to kind of, like acquire some of those things that you might have to worry about later in life, life insurance, stuff like that. You're taking care of the future. So you're viewing it as a bridge, and I think I am too. I'm viewing this as like when people are like, why don't you just get out? I'm like, I'm not miserable all the time. I can justify it. I'm like, I'm viewing this as a bridge. Because, you see the people, the things that people are struggling with is like health insurance, and you don't know what it's going to look like. So I think it's wise to just be like, this is just a path, and then that will free me up, you'll have a pension at that point, that free you up a little bit less stress. You'll have that income, and then you'll be able to do, coach when you're. I mean, you'll retire at 38 or something? Did you join when you were 18?
No, I joined when I was 20. So yeah, in the
20.
mid age,
Oh, that's
40
right.
at least, yeah.
Like 40, right? So like 40 is like. That's still really young. I mean, how many teachers can you think of that are, I mean, a lot of them are like 50s.
Yeah.
That I thought of growing up, like coaches are in their 50s and stuff, mid 40s. So what's the problem? I mean, and then you'll have that figured out. But another interesting thing, I think while you were talking, like when you're saying about how you went through that period in your life when you were in college and like, you didn't have really much of anything. You were living that, I guess, the other side of the life. But I think what keeps me, I don't think I could quit my career and give everything up because of what I said before. Like, I think people do things because expectations. Like, I would be afraid to have that feeling like, like with Katie, like, I would hate to have that feeling she's worried about income because I chose to pursue something that doesn't have, a for sure income, even if it makes me like more satisfied or happier.
Yeah.
But I feel like I can't imagine. I think it's just, and maybe it's old fashioned thinking, like, you're a man, so you should take care of the family and stuff, which isn't a bad thing to reinforce. But
do you ever?
I don't know.
Do you ever have like a scary thought? I don't know. Sometimes it crosses my mind, like, what if I have to get out of my current job tomorrow?
Yeah.
What would I? You ever have those kind of thoughts, and you're just like, I don't know. It like completely like humbles me almost, and like grounds me of like, I don't know what I would do. I mean,
same.
It would be the scariest day of my life because it's just like you have so much depending into your current situation, and you're living off your current situation. I mean, your life is around what you're currently doing, and all of a sudden to just lose it in one day.
Yeah,
scary stuff.
It's, I mean, I don't want to talk about divorce, but I mean, I think that's why people have such a hard time. It's because it's that concept. You build your whole life around a person or a career, and then I guess just like getting fired out of the blue. It's just like, how do you've become accustomed to this whole thing. This whole thing is familiar. It's your world. And then that person leaves or you get fired. And so, yeah, I think about that. I thought about that pretty often because my good friend Colton, he just got out of the military like 3 weeks ago.
Did he really?
Yeah, he got completely out. And so
wow.
he's going to be living in Alaska. And, he's already got a job. He's like managing a car auto shop or something. He's not actually working on cars, but he's like a manager. So it's good for him. But he said several times, like the closer it got, the scarier he was freaking out more or less because he's been in for. I mean, he was in for about 8 years, I guess.
You get so used to this lifestyle.
Yeah. So to think, I don't know, and that could happen. There are things that can happen. Obviously, if you get injured or hurt in a certain way, you're going to get medically discharged, because you can't do your job. I mean, of course, you'd be taken care of to a certain degree, but there's lots of different variables that can go wrong. You get in trouble, something happens, you got a commander that just doesn't tolerate whatever, they can recommend you getting pushed out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think about these things often, and I think that also, being in the military is so much more stressful in that regard. Maybe not so much more, but there's always that looming fear sometimes, like, man, I could be demoted pretty easy. I could get kicked out. There's all these different variables and looming things. You're like, I want to do this for 20 years, but also, what if 14 years into it, something awful happens? I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're building your whole world around it. It's a risk, But I guess there's a risk.
I guess you could apply
everything.
that to most occupations too.
Yeah.
You build your life outside of or around this occupation, and then I mean, your life could change in one day. It'd be crazy. I will say for the military, at least for the Air Force part that I'm aware of, for those that are planning to get out, the Air Force does a real good job of making sure you're ready to get out. You know, they have the classes, the mandatory classes you have to go to before you separate or before you retire
true.
to kind of make sure your mind's right. And I'm
Yeah.
sure throughout the process of you getting out, you're getting asked the question by, whoever's you're out processing through, or your friends, your family, like, hey, what's your plan? What's your plan? Because I think that's the most important thing, is to have that plan before you get out. You can't just go in blind, But to tie back to the original question, why do people do what they don't like and don't do what they do like? I think looking at it another way would be, maybe there's people that don't know what they really like yet, so they're kind of just riding this wave through like the beginning of their life of something that they know they don't like, but they're uncertain of what way they want to go with their life. So they continue to do it. So they're just stuck doing this thing that they don't like, And I mean, I find that interesting because I really didn't know what I liked when I was younger too. But I think it just comes with age. Maybe the growing up, you start to figure out, and I don't know. That could be something. I don't know. Trying to.
It's kind of weird because I feel like all the like you're saying, like you don't even know what you'd want to do. Like, it's funny. Like I know what I would like to do, but all the stuff that I've ended up feeling like, oh, I'd like to do a career in that, it's all like very uncertain money. So I'm like, why couldn't I just gotten a like medical or like something good paying, and what for sure market that's super stable and predictable and pay and this and that. But I guess Air Force it is, So I'm just riding this wave. It's a bridge, and there's nothing wrong with that, And also, I'm 32. I don't want to start over.
That's true. That's true.
So forget that. I'm proud of people. I'm blown away with people that can start over in their 30s or 40s or whatever. Completely switch lanes,
Yeah.
That's great. I think I just fear too much. I think, I don't know. I just don't want to end up broke, I guess, when I'm 60.
That's what it comes down to, right? Broke. Like, I mean, we care about where we're at, today, and the things we have and the things we need. We want to make sure all that's taken care of. But it's really the future game that we're all playing for and trying to set ourselves up for. And it's just crazy that, like, we have no idea. Like, you got to think back to people that are much older than us and probably about to retire in 2020, and all of a sudden COVID hits. And, like, it's just like, you just had no idea. You had no way to prepare for this. So, like, everyone in this world is preparing their future, but they have no idea what the future holds. And that is crazy to think about at times. That you're just blindly preparing yourself and getting ready for it. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's another thing with, all this COVID stuff is also like one of those things, like you can lob that into the question, like, why do people do so many things you don't like? Well, I'm now pretty sure I'm going to stay in the military because of COVID, because it's made me realize how uncertain all these people's jobs are. And yeah, sure, people got, what is it? What I'm trying to think of? They were getting paid unemployment. Yeah. Yeah. But still, what's the end goal? That's not, you know what I mean? Like, that's going to get cut off, and there's no, it's not a ladder. You know what I mean?
The stability our job provides.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And the future potential, you get older, you have health problems, your family has health issues and stuff. I don't want to be in that boat. I don't want to. Is that me being like fearful for the future? I don't know if that's just me staying in the military out of fear. I don't know. But it's just interesting how people get out so easily, and then they end up doing nothing. It sounds bad, but like,
I get what you're saying.
Perception-wise, I feel like they didn't go upward in. It just feels like they reset, sort of like they're in their 20s, young 20s again. Some people, and I guess if they're happy, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is my issue. This is why I can never do that life. Yeah. This is why I couldn't get out and revert back to my 23-year-old ways, because I care too much what people think. I care about what I think. It's just all these things. I'm like, I can't do it. So then I end up sort of judging people who make that choice, and even if they seem happier,
Yeah.
which is what they want, what everyone wants. So they're obtaining their goal, right? But I still judge them because I'm like, you look happier, but also, do you have a job? Or you know what I mean? I don't know. That sounds really judgmental, but
No,
like I said, I'm
saying.
old fashioned about that type of thing. I'm just like, I don't want to end up having kids and grandkids, and your grandfather's a bum or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Just want
And
to
you
make sure
mentioned
things taken care of.
obtaining your goal, and that's great because we've already talked about this in probably other episodes about having goals and striving for them, and I think it plays also into this discussion as well. Like if you're doing something you don't like and you'd rather do something you do like, then I feel like you have to have some sort of reachable goal, an attainable goal that can kind of maybe a middle ground, because I feel like there's some compromise when it comes to this kind of thing. Like, yeah, you may not be doing something you don't like, but at the same time, you might be also able to do something you do like at the same time, you know? And I also mentioned on Twitter, and this is what we can dive into as well. I tweeted this quote that I got from my professor. I just started this class this week, and she wrote in her introduction, she wrote this quote, and I never heard it before. And it kind of like stuck. I was like, this is kind of interesting, but it's goals are to be exceeded, not just to be met. I butchered that like crazy. Goals are to be exceeded, not just to be met. And I guess my eyes opened up a little bit more after I tweeted that, because I had a reply from someone that I don't even know this person. I don't know how.
Oh, I saw that. I was wondering. I was like, who is that?
Yeah, I don't know who it is. And this person said, but then wouldn't your goal have not been big enough because you were thinking too small? And then I was like, is that true? I mean, maybe, but then I replied, it shouldn't be the case. Goals are supposed to be realistic and attainable, but also remain well thought out. I guess that was me just having like a basic reply just because I don't want to be hurt or whatever. But what's your thoughts on that quote? Goals are to be exceeded, not just to be met. Do you think that's realistic? Do you think that's too what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
I don't know. Well,
Are you kind of goal oriented at all?
No.
And that's why I figure, like, I'm known you for a while, and I never heard you like mention any kind of, I got this goal to do this. And then, I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You're living the good life. Make sure you guys go check out his new song too, by the way, by Dunes, on Spotify. Quick plug.
Yeah, so for me, I'm not really a super goal-oriented person, I guess. But I do feel like setting smaller goals is ultimately better, probably for most people. Because if you start out setting it too high, then you realize I'm not going to get there. Because, like when you start to grind away, you're like, I want to run a marathon next month. And then you go out. You start training, and you're like, oh, not too bad. And then a week into it, are you still going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get overwhelmed pretty easy. So I don't know if, what did the person say that was replying to you? Like, you didn't aim high enough? Like, if you already met your goal? I thought, I mean, I get what they're saying, but it's like, I guess it depends on the person,
Yeah.
Like, one day you're just like, I want to be the president of the United States. That's a great goal, but there's so many different ways. There's things you have to do to get there. Like, shouldn't you start very basic and say, all right, I need to do this goal, and obviously exceed it? What's wrong with exceeding goal? I don't know.
That's how I feel about goals in general. I try to
that's understood.
I try to stick to them, but I feel like, in my perception, is that goals, of course, they need to be attainable, but I like to have small goals that are like locked together. So you're doing one, you're knocking that one out, and that's leading to your next one. Instead of one big goal and you're shooting for it and you're going crazy and that's that. I like to have little ones that keep tying into each other, leading to something big, and it's getting bigger and bigger type thing,
Dude, that's how it works for me. I gotta do these baby goals, because once I start doing that, it builds. I feel like we say the same stuff more or less. These key words: momentum.
Woo!
Exactly. Like you start changing. You do a little small thing. You're building that momentum. You know, you're building that momentum up. And you just start getting fired up every day. It's like a choo-choo train of success.
Choo-choo!
It just hop on. Let's go. You know what I mean? This train don't stop at this station. You know, we keep it going. So I feel like it's perfectly good and healthy, and probably I would recommend doing small goals. Right? I don't know. Yeah. People are crazy. Why are people arguing about something? You put something motivational out there, and then some random person still like, this ain't good enough. I hate this.
Yeah, it just has to say something, and then I didn't hear anything back from whoever this person is.
How do people find these tweets, by the way? Because you didn't use a hashtag or anything.
You know what?
Did you?
Profile says Wisconsin, USA, so it's my guess because Sam liked it. It may have popped up on a random Twitter feed. And someone saw it. So that's cool. That's cool. I love it. I love this. This is what I'm talking about, people. If you're going to listen and you want to talk, I'm not here to read a reply or whatever and shoot that person down. I was just reading about the discussion. So don't feel like if you say anything back, we're going to put you on blast or anything. We might. It depends how we're feeling that day. Okay?
I want a discussion.
Don't be scared. Yeah, that's all we want.
Let's discuss. You know, set some small goals. Yeah, dude. I see the reply you're talking about. Yeah, you sent it to me.
Yeah.
I just now saw that. What was that I was playing? I don't know. Dude, this is some deep discussion going on. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Get out there and set a small goal. You know what my goal was today?
What was
Get up and go jogging a mile.
And you did it.
Because it's hot out. You know how far I went? 2 miles.
Oh, my gosh.
Did I mean to?
What?
No.
That's literally it. Goals are to be exceeded, not just to be met.
Exactly. Like, I didn't want to get up and go outside today at all. I was going to sit here and play Zelda. But you know what? My goal was just to get outside. And I knew if I would just get outside, I'm not going to turn around. I'm just going to keep going.
That's the thing.
I met and exceeded that goal.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the thing for me. Like, if my goal is to work out, I feel like I have a goal in between like that and what I'm currently doing, and that is just to get moving. Like, once I get moving and we're already going, working out's no problem. It's just like yesterday. I was putting the garage together, cleaning up, organizing. But I was like, I need to work out too. But just the thought of having to organize the garage and work out at the same time sounds awful. But once, I just threw my shoes on, I walked in the garage, sweating like crazy because it's humid in my garage. Open the door, it's even hotter because the hot Florida breeze coming in. And I'm like, I'm dripping.
There it is.
I might as well start working hard, because I'm already dripping.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to, I just started killing it, dude.
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. You know what I do at work?
What do you do at work?
Here's a example of how easily dissuade I can be from working out. Like, so I need to make things super simple for me, right? For me to go work out. If I go to work in my uniform, like you do, and I bring gym clothes, you know what will make me not want to work out? Thinking about changing and putting on gym clothes. So what I do is I just come into work with my gym shorts on underneath.
Yes.
And all I got to do is slip the pants off.
It's stripped down.
And I keep the shirt on. I keep
Get
that
naked.
tan shirt on. That's so easy.
Yeah.
I just got to put the shoes on. So I found that
true.
for me is, because I go, well, you know what? I've already got my shorts on. Like, I'm already basically there.
Yeah.
I just got to put my shoes on. That's it. Mm-hmm. So that's something I do. People are like, why are you wearing your shorts? And I have to explain it like, listen, this is a trick. This is a hack I have to do for myself to get me in the gym every day at work. It's just a hack. I understand how I am, and all those steps to get in between, get there. Oh, man. So, yeah, working out sucks. Especially, going to gyms like Planet Fitness or, any gym, whatever, is great. But oftentimes, thinking about driving there, all that shit you have to do, oh, my God. That can easily turn me off from going to the gym. And it has several times. So you got to apply those little hacks to your life. Mm-hmm. If you hate the process of, well, I'll use this, for instance, setting up for a podcast. I don't hate it, and I don't dread doing a podcast. I'm just saying the setting up in between can kind of be cumbersome if I don't hack it before. You know what I mean? And it can kind of put me in like a agitated mood right before we record because I'm like, damn, I didn't think of this. Like I couldn't find my tripod that one day.
Oh, yeah.
There was one day we were about to record and I couldn't find my tripod for my camera. And, of course, I later found it. But anyway, I had to rig up some other tripod. And it just put me in that agitated mood right before. And I was like, oh, my God. You know, so if it wasn't for you on the other end waiting for me, I would have just said, nope, not doing this. Yeah. Because of how agitating it was. So you just have to hack it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that goes for working out. Like, just like having that other person in the end. You're like, oh, he's waiting on me and we're about to get a lift in. That's motivating. And that's encouraging. But there's something I also used to do is if like I needed to work out, I needed to do it at a certain time. There'd be a moment where I would turn like do not disturb on my phone. So I'd make sure I wouldn't get a text from any friends or like anyone saying like, hey, you want to hop on and play PlayStation or you want to do this or that. So I would completely, because there would be times, of course, in the past where it's like, okay, this sounds much better. I'm just going to do this instead and not even work out. So there actually be times where I'd have to like trick my mind and be like, okay, no one's hitting me up. And it's because, you know, secretly I have on do not disturb. But yeah, I totally get that.
It's really hard to be disciplined about things when other people don't understand what it takes. Like editing a YouTube video, you're like, I have to sit here undisturbed for at least 2 or 3 hours, you know? So it's like you said, those things you have to turn your phone off or whatever. And it just takes so much work and discipline, like working out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, your hack is like turn off your phone before so you don't get those like, man, just dude, work out later. Let's play, you know, let's hop on. And it's like, that sounds way better. That sounds amazing. You know, so you have to kind of like be preemptive about all these things. Like for me, I could eat junk food all day. So what I do, I just don't buy junk food. You know, because that is like my weakness. I could eat Doritos every day, all the time. Goldfish, that used to be my thing. Those big cartons.
Yep.
I'd buy the biggest one, you know, those huge cartons. Man, I would just eat those all the time. We'd be playing Destiny. I know I'd be cracking, or Battlefield or something. I'd be in your ear like, I know I'd have to mute my mic and be like, oh, poor my bad. Fish. And then I'd be like, poor little fish. And then I'd be like talking back to you, and then like, you're not responding. And I'd be like, what? Why are they not responding? And I forgot that I was on mute for like 10 minutes. And I'd be talking all this. They're over here to the left. I got them. Da, 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 da. All this talking. And be like, crunch. Then like 10 minutes in here, Gibbs, where you at? Be like, I'm right here. Can't hear you. Gibbs, are you still there? I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm muted.
Goldfish head looking at. No, let's not look over the fact that Jesse just said he takes a couple hours, multiple hours to edit YouTube videos. And let me just say, the hard work is always put in, and you guys need to go check it out. All right? Bring Your Mind Pod on YouTube. Go check it out.
That's true.
And, you know, look at his hard work. All right? It's good stuff. Put the voice to faces.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, dude, I totally dropped the ball. I was supposed to do a teaser for the last episode for Instagram. So if you follow us on Instagram, you'll notice like every week or every 2 weeks when we record, I'll put a nice, cool little teaser up. You know, it's all edited and animated and fun.
Absolutely.
Didn't even get around to it.
You were packing and you were leaving. So I mean, you crushed the YouTube video. That's what's awesome. He still got the YouTube video done before he even headed out to Arizona. But yeah, those that are not following the Instagram page, Brew Your Mind Pod on Instagram. There's a teaser every time we drop an episode, and sometimes there's a picture of what we're drinking that week. And it's just also a good meeting place for all the listeners. We get plenty of DMs, people talking about the episode, hearing different discussions, and
that's true.
It's a good spot for us to all talk and come to words.
Thank you all for the support and being involved and sending us messages and encouragement. Means a lot. It means a lot, man. Dude, I want to talk about the Army for a little bit.
Okay.
And how different the Army and Air Force culture is towards enlisted specifically. It's very interesting. So I was traveling from Tucson at the airport in a taxi to here, Fort Huachuca. I think the town here is Sierra Vista or something like that. Anyway, taxi driver is pulling up to the gate here, and he is like kind of nervous. He's like, I don't know if they're going to let me in. And, you know, from my experience with sometimes with Air Force, it's not too bad. So we just pull up to the gate and I was like, well, we'll see. Mm-hmm. Well, it's this older. They're all like civilian cop working the gate. Like sometimes you'll see. Mm-hmm. And this older guy is like, he's not really an ass. He's just like very rigid in like an old school military feeling kind of way. Like he works at an army base. That stereotype. So he's taxi driver, pulls up, rolls down his window, and he's like, hi, I just have a passenger here. He's TDY here for work, and he's Air Force. And he rolled the window down in the back. He looks at me. I give him my ID card. And I was like, I just need to get to this hotel. And he's like, oh, okay. And he just pauses, and he yells out to his coworker who's working another lane. And he's like, Sergeant something. I don't know what he said. And he said, do we allow taxi drivers to come on post without a pass? Obviously, he's going to say no. I know where this is going. But instead of saying no kindly, he just wants to humiliate the taxi driver and me, I guess. So, and then the other guy screams out, fuck no, Sergeant. It makes this big scene, and it felt like a hoorah type of thing. I was like, I hate army bases. Here we go. So anyway, taxi driver turns around. And I thought he was going to go in the building with me. There's a visitor pass building right next door. I thought he was going to go in there with me, right, to quickly get a pass, hopefully. So I get out my car, and I have my backpack because I think it just has like my ID and stuff in it. Mm-hmm. And then he just goes to the back of the car and opens the trunk, and I'm like, what's he doing? And he gets my bag out and lays it on the ground, and he gets back in his car, doesn't say anything to me. Gets back in his car, and he leaves. And while he's getting in his car, the old guy at the lane was right next to us, pretty close. And he's like, and he sees what's going on. He's like, taxi driver, you just have to go in there real quick. Taxi driver. He's screaming at him. This guy is purposely ignoring him. He's acting like he doesn't hear him. And he is like 30 feet from him, 20, like not that far, right? And I'm just standing there, and it's starting to rain, thunderstorms, lightning, and I'm like, this is the saddest thing. Because I left Anchorage at 11 p.m., around that time was takeoff, didn't sleep on the plane, landed in Dallas, got on Dallas to Tucson. It was a long day, and at this point, it was probably noon here. So I'd been traveling for a long time. So I was finally here at the end. So anyway, I go inside the visitor pass center. I'm like, do you guys have is there a shuttle that I can call? And they're kind of being dickish to me a little bit. Just that very stereotypical army feeling way. You know what I mean? Like not warm and kind. And I'm like, I hate this so much. I hate this. Anyway, guy gives me a number to call. I try calling it 4 times, no answer. 5th time they answer. I was like, this has got to be the wrong number. Anyway. Call them. She's like, what's your location? I said, I'm here. And so the shuttle is on its way. And it takes 40 minutes to show up. I don't understand what was going on. Well, as I'm standing outside in the rain, because I didn't want to stand in there with those guys. I don't know. I was just like, I just want to stand outside.
Yeah.
And it's kind of raining around, thunderstorms. I was like, whatever. I'm just going to stand here. And this guy comes out twice that works in there. He's another civilian cop. And he's like, did you get a hold of the shuttle? And I was like, yep, they should be coming. And then he comes back out. He says, are you an officer? And I was like, nope. And then he just walks away. And my thinking was, wow, I bet if I would have said I'm an officer, he would have just given me a ride. Because the hotel was like 2 miles up the road. Far enough to walk with a bag and stuff. Too far. And I was just like, that's the most Army thing I've ever heard. Like, you always hear these stories like, man, Army the enlisted take care of their enlisted. But that general feeling of just like, they treat their people kind of like shit a little bit. Yeah. I just saw it happen to me. He didn't know I was Air Force or anything. He just thought I was a soldier. I'm not saying I should have been treated better or anything.
Yeah.
I just want to say to the guy, are you an officer? I'll be like, what difference does it make in this scenario? Yeah. Because if you'd say you were giving me a ride, I would have said, what the hell are you talking about? That as a human being, you're just going to let me stand here in the rain? I look disheveled and tired. Obviously, I'm TDY. I don't have a car. So I'm from out of town. Can you help me? So I just thought that was such a great story. So I finally get to the hotel. And to my surprise, which is against the Army stereotype, this is a very nice hotel. And I was like, why is this here? I always hear bad stories. Okay, I'll explain it further. So this hotel is only for officers and warrant officers. Oh, and also Air Force. So join the Air Force if you're thinking about joining the military. I'm just saying, there are nothing but officers in here. And
That's crazy.
lower enlisted, mid enlisted. We have like 2 or 3 A1Cs. So I'm just saying, like they're E3s, like straight out of basic tech school. And they're staying at this nice hotel where the officers stay. Which also I might want to add, why is that expected? You know what I'm saying? I know I'm talking a long time, but I just find it funny that the officers are getting this nice place. Where are the enlisted Army staying? Some trash? Why? Why don't they all treat it like they're the Air Force? Like why is the Air Force so much better to their people?
Yeah, why do we get paid extra when we're stationed at army base? You know
Exactly.
So I don't know if I ever asked you this, but in real quick, why'd you choose the Air Force over any other branch?
I kind of got told to by people that used to be in the Army.
Okay.
Plus, I vaguely knew if I want to join the military, I don't want to be handed a gun and risk any type of job like that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I just knew, I didn't want to have a job that was. I'm not really that type of hoorah person. I never thought, I want to be in the military. I'm not into that grunt stuff and that whole aesthetic really. But plus, also my mom, I always remember her talking about wanting to be in the Air Force.
Okay.
When I was little, and I always thought that was funny because she said she wanted to like travel and stuff. And then I worked. Well, first there was one guy who got straight out of one of my friends. He got straight out of like Army basic, and he was all like super hoorah and stuff and Army, and I was like, that's not me, man. I don't think I could do that, And then another guy that I worked with, he was retired Army, and he was like 20 years or something. I don't know. Actually, he wasn't even in that. He was at like 18 years, and he got hurt, had to get out. And he told me over and over, he's like, I love being in the Army, He's like, join the Air Force. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I think I took his advice pretty seriously because he'd been in so long. So he was just like, just join the Air Force. Make sure you get a good job that you like, which I didn't. I went in open general, which means you go in without a job assigned to you and you just get what they take you while you're at basic training. It's risky. It'll get you out the door quick, but also you could be doing a job that you don't really want to do.
That's true.
So did you do open general or you already picked weather, right? Or
yeah, I got that job, and joining the Air Force was more random for me. Like I was doing like a full-time job installing countertops, granite countertops, remodeling kitchens,
dude,
whatnot.
we totally both did that. I forgot.
And I did a job because I did it in like the Arklatex area, East Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana type area, and we did a job on Barksdale. It was in some random squadron, like a break room countertops. We went in, and I was just doing it, and just like there was a whole bunch of Air Force dudes there, and just started talking with them, and they started explaining what their life's like, what their benefits are, and I swear, like that night, went home and I did like the airforce.com recruiter thing and like filled out like I'm interested. Next morning, I got the phone call, and then I went in 2 days later, and then paperwork started rolling. I mean, it was so random and crazy, like how Air Force got chosen, like because I was at Barksdale. Because I mean, there was no other. I never thought of the military,
Nope.
going through high school, and I'm sure you were probably the same way.
Yeah, not at all.
And then just for Air Force to be that random, and I'm just so thankful and blessed that it was Air Force base that I was at, and I couldn't imagine if it was like a Army post. And I'm sure maybe people there would have been like, "No, don't do it, not the Army," or maybe they'd have been like, "Yeah, it's awesome." So I don't know.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I don't know. I don't want to talk trash about the Army. I'm not saying like we feel like we're better than people that are in the Army. Not saying that at all. I'm just saying my experience here. It was just funny how that's a common trend with I'll hear people tell their stories and stuff, but that are in the Army, and they share a similar culture. I will say our instructors, they're both E7s, Sergeant First Class. They're Army. Those guys are amazing. They're warm and sweet, and great instructors, super intelligent. All that stuff. And they seem to love what they do. They
Love it.
I don't feel like they regret being in the Army. I just want to make sure anyone that is listening, if they're in the Army or want to join the Army, there's a specific, if there's a specific military lane that you're looking to do, Army, something like that idea. If you want to be more like infantry and that do more Army and military sounding stuff, jump on the planes. Oh, for sure do that. I just wanted a desk job type thing, I didn't want to be on the front lines. It's just me. I don't know, but
Comes down to person.
Army's cool too, for sure.
It comes back to doing what you do like, and opposed to doing what you don't like.
Exactly.
Yeah, great stuff. I love it. Jess, you got anything else? We'll start shutting it down.
Nah, dude. I guess next episode we do, I might still be here. Probably.
Yeah, how long are you out there?
So I'm here until like the 5th or something. Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah. You'll still be out there.
So we'll have another apartment episode here, and keep it fleeky fresh.
Fleeky fresh on a Friday.
Dude, I also want to add, it's I don't think I said this, but they have us on, I think, what's called restricted movement for any people that are coming here from out of state. So what that means is I can't go anywhere off base. I can't. I have to stay on base for 2 weeks. So luckily there's a lot of nature on base, and there's hiking and stuff that we've done. Super cool. But, I mean, there's a pool here at this hotel. Pool's closed. There's gyms in the hotel. Gyms are closed. Gym on base, we can't even go there. And also, I want to add, this gym here, so this base is like a tech school type of place, I think, for Army Intel, I think. The schoolhouse where I'm at over here, where we're doing our course, it's taught by Intel analyst or whatever. The whole schoolhouse is like these super young, hugging the walls, like, that tech school experience. That's where I'm at. It's just Army Intel. So it's funny to see it because they're all looking at us like, Air Force, what? Because we stand out like a sore thumb. But, oh my God, excuse me.
Oh, my God.
It's probably super loud. But yeah, everything is closed. So there's not much to really report, like activities that I've been doing. So
report.
Maybe after another week or so, might be able to go somewhere. But it's just interesting, how they're treating this. Everything is closed off. So might just be doing a lot of jogging, dude. A lot of Zelda.
Love it, dude.
That's all I got, man. I don't know. Say a little prayer for you, Justin.
Oh, that's good. All right, cool. Thanks, everybody, for listening. You guys are amazing. We love you so much. And anyway, hope you have a great day.
Yes.
Don't forget to free your mind.
Oh my God. That was amazing.